me hear you.
Test, test, test. 1, 2. Hello, hello.
Yep, you're good. All right, here we go. And go. It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents, not only in the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Brand new show this week. All kind of crazy stuff going on in the real estate world. We got lots of cool news coming out from both local, national. Brand new show. I was out of town at a conference last week, back in the studio this weekend, but lots of great stuff we'll talk about, both locally, nationally. Some big news came out this week in terms of national data that shows that home sales fell 8.4% last month. And we'll kind of dig into that, what that means, what's behind it. It's been a lot of concern kind of in the real estate world, both agents, brokers, thought leaders, whatever you call them, are talking about, hey, what's going on with it? Seeing some softening, even though rates have gone down a little bit. What's kind of causing that? We'll look at that overall and see how that stacks up. We'll also dig into the micro market numbers. They're out from last month, just hot off the press right now. Interesting. So home prices, Myrtle Beach is down like 10% year to date, which is interesting. So it's all over the place, but we just had an all-time high in December. So it's like all over the place, the stuff we're seeing. And it, again, also is very, very nuanced in terms of like super high end stuff. So crushing it. Some of the mid stuff is having challenges. And so it's very, very interesting, kind of intricate market right now in terms of data. We'll go through all that stuff, break that down for you by zip code, area, what's going on with that. Also, a really cool report I just got off the press today. It breaks down who exactly is buying homes in Myrtle Beach based on demographics, age, type of buyer, age of home they're buying, all kind of stuff. It's fascinating to kind of dig into and look and see who's buying. With that, we'll dig into that part as well, so you can kind of get a little feel kind of with that. Good news too, also interest rates back down, which is awesome, right kind of near basically also a 3-year low, first and second week of January, very, very close to that again. So that's great news. Even some of the 15 years and even FHA VA loans right now are in the 5s. So that's great news. Getting a lot of buyers off the fence who've been kind of waiting, sitting back. As they realize that, you're starting to see them get more pre-approved, them start looking. Also, our team's ramping up like crazy this year. We've increased spend on a massive level, like I mentioned, 6 figures a month in marketing right now, generating buyers from all across the globe. And so we're looking to add a couple people to our team. If you're watching this online, if you're an agent, if you're thinking about getting real estate, if you're just a high level person who wants to be a part of a winning team, number one real estate team here in Myrtle Beach, we have step-by-step training, 5 different coaches from in the industry, outside the industry, that help our team train every single day. A real estate school, we can help you get licensed. We also offer a scholarship at Sloan Scholarship. If you want to check that out, we're definitely looking to add great A players to our team overall. And so just lots of great stuff, a couple amazing success stories. Our investment fund just bought another property this week. This one's in Georgetown, on the water in Georgetown. And very, very cool story there. Helped her just buy it at the exact price she wanted, very fair price, the exact closing date. She only wanted to take certain things to her new home. She was downsizing from that property to one in Pawleys Island, and really, really cool story. So we'll talk about that. So make sure to stay tuned. Lots of great stuff on today's show. Also, if you ever want to come back and watch this, go check it out on YouTube. Just type in Blake Sloan Radio Show. You can follow me on Facebook at Blake Sloan. We also stream it on Sloan Realty Group, but lots of great stuff on today's show.
For any new listeners, just to give you an update on just who Blake is, it's an amazing story. Industry leaders have dubbed him the real estate whiz kid. Been featured in Forbes, Wall Street Journal, NBC, Realtor Magazine, and many other national publications. He has been personally endorsed by Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck. One of those by itself is an accomplishment, but all of them together is unprecedented. Last week, we learned a little about how you and your team work, and how a good portion of your success has come from the trademark systems you have developed to help both buyers and sellers here in our market. Recap quickly for anyone new to the show what those are exactly, and quick overview of how they work, Blake.
Yes, Rick, I think that's become like my purpose in life, just why I do what I do. With this is just because so many consumers make this mistake over and over and over and over. So the number one thing I battle with every day, being in this business for 20 years now, 20 plus years, is the consumer makes the mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same. And it could not be any further from the truth. And so the whole purpose and the why behind this show is help educate people out there and say, look, here's the deal. The single most important variable that determines your success or failure as a home seller or a home buyer comes down to one thing and one thing only. That thing is the agent that you choose, period. not time of year you sell, not the wall color, not any of that stuff. It comes down to the agent that you actually choose. And there's so many horror stories I see every week. I was just sharing it recently, and sharing last week's show maybe. Like our neighbor have a house on the waterway right here in Myrtle Beach. And it's kind of near the boathouse, across the boathouse, kind of close to Grand Mall area. And so it's on the waterway. My neighbor sold the house massively cheaper. Her husband passed away. She moved back up north. I went with some random cold call discount agent. They listed it at $785,000, which is crazy. It's worth 1.25, 1.3 all day, every day. Double lot on the water. I made a local post about the Facebook group. People got a little super mad about it. They raised the price a little bit, only like $780. And meanwhile, they sold it. Somebody came in, tore the house down, and now they're building a new house on it, which is crazy. Sold it for less than the actual value of even the land, if you look at what the lots are selling for in the area. Meanwhile, guess what? A month later, another property sells that's inferior to it, closer to the bridge, for $1.3 million. And so you're talking about a $500,000 swing here by picking the wrong agent in terms of strategy, what they did, and how it worked. And so that's the crazy part about it. If you think about that, even in addition to that, a month later, a much smaller house on a single lot, not a double lot, sold for $865,000 a month after that. And so this person, right, cost himself $500,000 by picking the wrong agent. And so that's why this stuff, and I see it every day. Like, this is just an at-home example of like, dude, this stuff matters. If you listen and take anything from this show, like, it's just like doctor, lawyer, right? If I get charged with a crime I didn't commit, or if I get sued by somebody, I'm not gonna go to the cheapest lawyer. I'm not gonna go to the lawyer, right, who's just only tried 2 or 3 cases before. I want the absolute best, most aggressive, amazing attorney to represent me, and I'm willing to pay what it takes to get the best value from that, right? And the same thing with a doctor. If I'm charged, if I get sick with a sickness, the last thing I want is some doc in the box who doesn't really care, who takes 5 seconds and just writes prescription, because that can get you in trouble. The same thing I mentioned a couple weeks ago with my kids, right? Kids got sick, took them to the doctor in the box place, and they misdiagnosed him with the ear infection. Turns out it was something way, 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 way worse that potentially was deadly. And we had a situation where my daughter got basically turned blue. We had wasn't breathing because of this situation, and went back to a different, more specialized, right, pediatric doctor who knew, and in 2 seconds they knew exactly what it was, and it was something way worse, and a different treatment with different medicine that, thank goodness, helped it, right? And so it all comes down to the human and how well they execute. The same thing with your house, right? You get your largest asset, you can't gamble with that. And so the whole thing about this show is like, the agent you choose matters more than anything else. Why is that? Well, when you're selling a property, it's complicated. It's not just put it in the MLS and see what happens, right? That's what most agents do. Most agents live by the 3 Ps. They promise you we'll get the listing. They say anything and everything. Usually they're number one. That's what they all claim. And they put it into MLS, and then they just pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the next listing. And so they're just trying to survive in the business. We ran the numbers recently. If you look at MLS, right, still houses are basically about the high 40% sell. So let's say 10 get listed, about 4.5 actually sell. We ran condos this week, the last 6 months. We took how many condos were listed in the last 6 months on the MLS and how many condos actually sold the last 6 months. It was 25.8%. And so you have a 25% chance of selling a condo right now with a traditional agent. And so that's crazy, right? A lot of competition. It's a little slow marketplace. And so why? Well, you want to understand, like, you have to have an agent who understands what to do. There's so many nuances in that. And these are things that the agent does that makes or breaks the home sale. It could be anything from the pricing strategy, right? Like the example I gave you costs $500,000 to the home seller, in my opinion. In addition to that, could be photo quality, the actual order of the photos. Does the agent answer the telephone when a buyer calls in offline? Does it even have online advertising? Does it respond to web leads? And so we mentioned before, we shared a documentary I made online at blakesloan.com. You can watch it. There's a national study from a company referenced there. We show you actually on the video that they called 3,000 real estate brokerages across the country. Less than 50% actually answered a call back to a specific agent, right? So they called basically about a listing. Less than 50% of the time, they even got a call back when they left a message about buying something. And so that same thing happens to your house when you're listed with an average agent who's trying to juggle all the balls, right? If I have a single agent working by themselves, they're trying to work with buyers, trying to work with sellers, trying to do marketing if they do any, all their closing coordination for any closing deals they have, all the administrative stuff. And so that's like having the same person, McDonald's, their front register, drive through the French fries at the same time. And I say that over and over and over because that's what matters, right? If anything you take from this is that all agents are not the same, just like any human, just like any restaurant. You go to some restaurants, right? You go to Wendy's. I saw a post on Facebook today, right? If you go to Wendy's, you don't know what the heck you're going to get. You come back with 16 different things that are not what you actually ordered. Go to Chick-fil-A. Guess what? I only got to check it. I know I'm getting it. Why? Because it comes down to how well do the humans actually execute in that process. And so our entire thing there is build that Chick-fil-A real estate where you know what you get. It's the same exact thing every single time with high training, high expectations, and high standards. And so if you want to know more how that works, you can learn about what I designed, this thing called the Guaranteed Sold System. The only proven system that sells homes twice as fast, up 20% more money than traditional methods, and it works very, very, very well. We maximize every single variable, right? We have a system, a process with both humans and technology that maximize every single part of that. And it's phenomenal in terms of how well it works. And so in addition to that, we also, for buyers out there, have this thing called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Gives priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, distress sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as home inspection negotiation to get you to that closing table successfully. And so those are two key things that you want to understand. If you want to learn more about that, you can call me today. We're in here hustling today, right now, 843-808-SOLD. You can also check out my website. I want you to, if you do anything, take some great time. I had an agent call this week. He was at open house. He heard the radio show. Amazing guy. And he said he went and checked the documentary out, and it was just very, very fascinating and so true in terms of behind the curtain and how the business works and how the industry works. And so if you want to go back and watch it, go to blakesloan.com. You can check it out. Lots of great stuff. And it just shows you like, hey, here's how the industry works. Here's how most agents work. Here's what's different. We show you literally on the video of how it works. And so that's how you protect your equity. That's how you get the most amount of money. But make sure, stay tuned today. Lots of great stuff. We have one main goal on this show is to help keep you updated with anything and everything real estate related here in the Grand Strand, because for most people, the real estate is their largest asset. And so we want to help you make good decisions with that, know the data about that, and really help understand what's happening here in the Grand Strand. So take a quick break, right back here in a second. We have to just wait till my co-host comes right back and he'll do the commercial and restart it. So just bear with us for a second if you're online. I stream it live here, but they record it on the Saturday, Sunday show.
Sean Hannity here with the only real estate agent in your market that I recommend, Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. And thanks for joining me today. A lot of real estate companies are making instant offers these days. What makes yours different from what they're offering?
Hey, Sean, that's such a great question. The massive difference is we actually buy your house. Most of those advertisements you hear, even on the same station, are wholesalers. They're just there to lock your property up at a discount price and try to assign it to someone else, make money off your hard-earned equity. Then they leave you hanging at the closing table if they can't find someone else. They never had any intention of closing. Most don't even have the money to close if they wanted to. We're local. We have millions of dollars, and we actually close the deal.
All right, thanks for keeping us up to date. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com. And consider your home sold.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corbett. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. We offer several options for ourselves, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers at time crunch, we can agree to sell it by a certain date, take cash for your home, or even rent it.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time,
Use our proven marketing plan and sell it for the highest price.
work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on your terms.
Welcome back, Blake Sloan radio show. Brand new market update, all kind of stuff happening here. three types of numbers really talk about. You usually talk about two types of numbers, right? The front windshield numbers, the rear view mirror numbers, like, hey, what's going under contract? I tell you this, the new properties going under contract jumped up like crazy the last 7 days, which is huge, great news. And so that has a little bit to do with interest rates going back down, bouncing around, which is awesome. So if you look at interest rates, from the last couple, they bounced down. Like last week's show was 6.19. Today we'll say it's a little bit less than that. I'll come to that in a second. But last week's show was 495 properties that went under contract, and that was a 25% increase week over week, which is cool. This week's show, it's up even more at 529 properties under contract for $204,047,000. And so anytime you're at 200 million, that's like June, July numbers. And so that's great news for here, right? Great news for home buyers, home sellers, right? People are actually going under contract. Those are new ones that go under contract. So that's what helps us keep like a real-time pulse about what's happening, what's going on, which has been great overall. And so some big time stuff. What's really cool though, interesting to say the least, the top four properties in terms of price, there's a 3.95 million under contract in Georgetown, South Bay Street, 2.775, Collins Meadow Drive in Georgetown. Then there's one in Myrtle Beach, 302A North Ocean Boulevard for under contract 2.5 million. And then another one in Georgetown on Piper Lane, 2.3 million. So the top three of the four properties under contract in Georgetown. Interesting, right? Overall, then you got one Pauley's 2.19. But the crazy part, 6 properties over $2 million just in the last 7 days. One at $4 million in Georgetown, which is awesome to see. Big time stuff there. Lots of big stuff. If you look at properties over $1 million, we have right now 15 over $1 million. So lots of big stuff happening overall in terms of going under contracts. That's great news overall. The rear view mirror numbers are like, hey, look, what closed last month overall in terms of those numbers. I'll quick hit those. We talked about last week's show, but just really quick, single family home sales for the resale homes, which matters most, up 9.3% year over year, which interesting though, is they're actually down from December. December is 474, January only 365. So 100 home difference if you look at month versus month, and way down since October. And but the good news is last January was super low. If you go back to kind of where things were, it was 334. This year, 365. So great news there. Prices though, they're up year over year, 0.3% for median price. Sorry, for average price. The crazy part, it's down month versus month. So last month in January, the average price $503,677. In December, though, it was $556. So basically a $53,000 drop month versus month in terms of average sale price. And again, that does bump around. Depends how many big time properties go. We are seeing a lot of the high end stuff is still moving like crazy. They're just making up comps, and people pay for them. It's wild. I have a builder I was talking to, a good friend of mine, used to work with us, and he builds a lot of high end stuff for they'll do basically buy land, build on it, and sell it as a spec home. And he was laughing, telling me, hey, we just make up a price and people come and buy it. It's crazy on the high end stuff, right? A lot of big money from up north, Washington, D.C., New York area, things like that overall. But also median price down 1.3% year versus year. So last January versus January. December average median price is 405. Right now, 387. So down a little bit overall. Months of supply, which is like how many homes available, it did bump up in January, which is typical, right? People go through the holidays, they pull off the market, then January they put it back on the market. So it is up 2.2%, with a 4.4 months of inventory in December to 4.6 months of inventory in January, which is always pretty typical. The key numbers, though, average days on market right now, 121 days on market for the average amount of time it takes to sell a home. That's of the ones that do sell. So you got to think less than 50% actually get sold for single family homes, right? It takes 121 days on average of the ones that actually do sell. And so that's important. We get a lot of home sellers sometimes, like the average column say you need to be at 250,000. They're like, we want to list at 265 because our granite is better than everybody else's granite, right? Well, then they get mad and can't figure out why it hasn't sold on day 26, right? So you have to understand, look at the data. It's always math, and it's really easy to kind of go back and see there. But if you look at the most important numbers right now, is showings per listing. The average showing per listing right now for a house gets 3.5 showings, which is up from December. The problem is it takes 14.5 showings to actually get a contract on average. It means you get a 14.5 door swings or buyers come in to get a contract on average, but most are only getting 3. So a 3x to 4x increase in the amount of showings you need versus what you actually get, which is why you can't just use any old agent. Otherwise, you're stuck in the 3 to 4 showing range, and you never get an actual contract because you're not getting enough traffic because the agent doesn't have any money to spend in marketing, right? It does make a big difference there. I'll break that down. Condo sales for resale condos, closed sales last month down 14%, so kind of off of a cliff. So if you look at in January, there was 258 condo sales. If you go back just to October, 425. So big decrease there. If you go to just December, 361, went 361 to 258. So 100 condo difference there, just month versus month. Sales price, median price down 5% last month at 224,000. Average sale price down 5.2% last month for condos at 265,000. Inventory is up 9.9% at 7.8 months of inventory, which means it's a true buyer's market. Same as got problem there. The average showing per listing a condo gets is 2.0, but it takes 9.3 on average to get a contract. So you need a 5x increase of what the average listing gets to actually get a contract. And that's why the agent you choose matters so much. And then days on market for condos of the ones that actually do sell, 133 days. And so it takes a long time. Again, that's why the agent you choose is so important. Doesn't mean you can't get done. Doesn't mean you got to like fire sell it. You just need to be competitive and have the right marketing, right differentiation, and a sales team that can kind of help push that and get it, because you are seeing a lot more buyers wake up, a lot more buyers jump back in. Like right now, interest rate 6.19%, which is awesome. Sorry, that's last week's show, 6.10%. Last week's show is 6.19%. So you sell that basis points down 8 basis points, which is awesome overall in terms of actual mortgage rates. Right now, if you look at the 15-year fix, 5.69, which is awesome. A 30-year jumbo loan, 6.2%. 30-year FHA loan, 5.67. And a 30-year VA, 5.69. So in this fives for most of those, except 30-year fix. Once the 30-year fix gets down there, I think you'll start to see a lot more movement too, as well as we come into the spring market. So if you're thinking about selling, you definitely want to tee it up a little bit to make sure that you can kind of get things ready, have it ready to go. One thing I'll jump into really quick, I'll just hit a few highlights for you, is the micro market numbers, which is like, hey, what's happening in my zip code, my area? It's the hardest one to do on radio, obviously, because I have to run through it, but make sure to stay tuned on it. 29572, 29577 zip codes. Closed sales year to date up 2%, 2.6%, which is awesome. Interesting though, the price is down 10.9% year to date. So last year, median price 580, this year 517. So a significant drop there overall. Inventory in Myrtle Beach up 24% last month versus, obviously the same month last year. Condo sales down last month 30%. So 30% last month versus same month last year. Prices down 6.8% in the Myrtle Beach area. That's where most of the condos and condo sales are. If you look at North Myrtle Beach area, which is 29582, closed sales last month up 14%, which is awesome. And the good news, up 14%. Bad news is prices down 16.1% last month in North Myrtle Beach. So that's a significant drop. Overall inventory is up 9.4%, so 9.4% more competition there than there was last year. Little River area, sales down 2.2%. Prices down 11% last month. 393,000 before, 349,000 now. It's almost a $50,000 drop. You're seeing there year versus year. So they're seeing some declines in a lot of areas, and you're seeing it happen in majority of the zip codes. That's something to watch out for and feel out. Loris and Longs, closed sales up 6.2%. Our prices, though, down 3.3% right now at 290,000. Inventory is actually down 2%, so not a big deal there. Conway area, 29526, 29527. The average closed sales up 9% last month, which is awesome. Price is flat. They're literally last year 309,118, this year 309,995. So no decline yet, which is awesome. The average time it takes to sell a house in Conway right now, 140 days. And so that's the numbers there. Carolina Forest area. This is interesting for sure. And it has to do a little bit with new construction, I think, too, just being less of it. But closed sales down 34% last month in Carolina Forest. Prices are up, which is great news. One of the few places you're seeing an increase in price of 8.5%. Last year, 433,000. This year, 470,000. If you look at Soxie area, closed sales last month down 23.4%. But the good news is prices up double digits, 11.7% from 345 to 385. Surfside area, 29575. Sales last month down 23%. Prices are flat. We went from 400 last year to 402 this year. So holding strong there in Surfside. Garden City, Myrtle's Inlet, 29576. Sales down 10%, but prices up 23%. So as you can see, you definitely need an expert who can help dig into the data for you. We have software we created that will take the data per neighborhood and show you exactly what your neighborhood is doing compared to everywhere else. So you can pick a much more accurate strategy based on, is prices going up or prices going down, because it is different based on demographic, buyer type, area, property type, things like that. Litchfield, Paul's area, sales up 27% last month, but prices down 3.6%. So you can see it's like the Wild West right now in terms of what's happening price-wise. Again, you want to look at 3-month, 6-month trends, which do make a difference, but it's wild. We see an all-time high in price in December, and then all of a sudden you see a significant drop in January. And so also, we had a very slow December too. as a whole. And obviously, if those are properties going under contract, then January, February, you see a little bit less closings. So Georgetown is hot right now. Closed sales of 112%. It went from 8 to 17. But if you look at prices, pretty much flat. 415 last year, 414 this year overall. And so if you want to know more how that works in more detail, I have all the data you can imagine. We also have this amazing tool. I spend thousands of dollars a month for it. You go to blakesloan.com. It's like a stock ticker for your stocks, but it's for your house. Any house you own, any property you own, anywhere in the country, you can use it. You have your own dashboard, real-time data, real-time accuracy in terms of your actual mortgage balance, what your real-time equity is, all the properties around you that sold. We offer as a free service to everyone out there that's our clients, past clients, and radio listeners. Just go to blakesloan.com. In your address, you can keep it. It'll update you if you want to. You can also get a human evaluation, which is a little more accurate, right? We get people respond back sometimes like, oh, this is not fully accurate. We use data from the county, and all this, the county data is not always accurate. So we can easily fine tune that for you. You can also get instant cash offer, but lots of great stuff there. Go in your property information at blakesloan.com. We'll take a quick break, right back in a second with our brand new success stories. How are we looking on time? Like 5 minutes, 6 minutes?
If I run both spots, you'll have about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's cool.
Get this, Blake guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it himself. And since you know when your current home will sell by and for how much, you can buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with two more. There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 five-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group. And tune in to Blake's show Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m. Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I Moving On won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes. For many, that happens when it comes time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com, or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
Welcome back, Blake Sloan Radio Show. Hot buyers alert. My team works with a ridiculous amount of home buyers. Look at my property show in the Myrtle Beach Grand Street area. Anywhere from $250,000 to $4.4 million. If you're thinking about selling, give us a call immediately. 843-808-SOLD. It's 843-808-SOLD. One thing that makes us different pretty much than anyone else, and the biggest thing that makes us different, is that we have this thing called buyers in waiting. Our unique business model allows us to outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. Like I mentioned earlier, we spend 6 figures a month in marketing. Most agents don't make that in a year. And so we're outspending them 100 to 1 because we have a sales team that makes over 10,000 phone calls a week. They're following back up. And what we do is we obviously are in business to make money, and we match buyers and sellers up. You hire us to actually sell the home, not just put it in MLS and pray someone brings a buyer. And so with that, we have what we call buyers in waiting, meaning we already have buyers look for properties just like yours. And so that's how we're able to sell them faster, more money in many cases. Like right now, we have right now 82,013 active home buyers, 82,013 active home buyers. Got Lee Bowers from Hickory, North Carolina, Stuart Freeman from Utica, Michigan. I got Rick Farrell from Riverside, California, Sequoia, New York. Debbie's from New York. I got Chris from Lynbrook, New York, Salisbury, North Carolina, Nanuet, New York, Florence, South Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, Madison, Wisconsin. So buyers from all over looking to buy here, and they're searching my site this exact second. So that's what makes us different than the person who puts a sign in the yard and just hopes someone sells it. We already have what we call buyers in waiting, and running these ads for years now with massive amounts of people. So if you want to know more how that works, reach out, call us 843 808 sold for sure. And that's how we get these massive success stories. Really cool story here. Bill and Amy, they own a beautiful home in Myrtle's Inlet. Recently decided it was time for them to downsize into a townhouse, so they haven't spent much time with upkeep and things like that with maintenance. Bill has a lot of family members who are realtors in other locations. He has a ton of experience in real estate. But one of his biggest issues in working with realtors in the past is they did not ever live up to his expectations. And Bill actually inquired about one of our properties that we had for sale as a buyer. After discussion with our company, he realized that we were not the average run-of-the-mill real estate company. Thought it'd be a good fit to work with us on the listing side. We came in, met with Bill and Amy, shared exactly how we had hundreds of buyers looking properties just like his. And I came in, designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, drone photography, virtual walkthrough, drove massive traffic with just 2 days. They had a fantastic full price offer on their property. They were blown away. Now they can move into their new townhouse and enjoy that great lifestyle, which is awesome. Really quick too, Patty, this is what I was talking about earlier. She had a very, very nice house in Georgetown on the water. She's a little bit older, didn't want to deal with like fixing up certain things. It wasn't in bad shape, but just need some minor little things on here. And she just wanted to leave specific things in the house not to deal with, like certain furniture stuff. And I just wanted to pick a certain date. She had certainty so she could purchase her new home, Paul's Island. Called us off the guaranteed sale, the cash offer. We came in. She gave us a price, gave us a date. We agreed to it, paid cash for it, closed on the exact day that she wanted just this past week. She picked the stuff that she wanted out the house. We have a crew going in and getting it. And she is super, super happy with that. Very, very fair price. And so if you want an instant cash offer, it is real. It does happen. Perfect example right there. Reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. See you back here same time next week.